The government is spending billions of dollars each year on maintaining ancient computer equipment, and that includes floppy disks to run the system that launches nuclear missiles.
Joining us live is the founder and president of X Mission, Pete Ashdown, is here. And Pete, when we learned about this, we thought this would be funny if it wasn't so serious. Tell us what was your take on this, and how is this even possible?
Well, it's not surprising. The thing about technology is, as it ages, people leave, people who constructed it. It becomes more of a black box where things come in and things come out. And replacing those black boxes gets harder and harder over time. So it's not surprising to see that the government is using 8-inch floppy disks for our nuclear program. But this is something I go through at X Mission. We have systems that have gotten up to 10 years old, and it's very difficult to replace them when they get older and older.
I was going to say, not only that, but the cost probably goes up pretty intensely as well. Like, what would the government, do you think, have to pay to update, some of these computer systems that have been sitting around for 40 or 50 years?
Oh, gosh, it's in the billions of dollars. And when they're trying to cut back on spending, coming in with an appropriation saying we're going to overhaul everything is very difficult for them to execute.
But these are the nuclear programs that are still being run by floppy disks. Is that safe?
Are you surprised?
Well, in some ways, it's safer because putting in a new system, you have to go through a rigorous set of tests, and they know the old system is working. And the old system is actually a lot simpler than a lot of these newer systems. These newer systems can have a lot more things that go wrong with them because they're much more complex. So there is an argument, when they send a lander to Mars, they actually use hardware that is quite dated because it's quite reliable. But still, the expertise, the people that built that system, they're retiring. They're going off to other things. Maintaining it gets more and more difficult as time goes on. So at some point, you do have to do the replacement.
I was just going to say, at some point, you do have to finally say, all right, it's time to put in some new computers, some new systems, because you can't just keep operating on 70s technology for the next hopefully 50 years.
Would it be easier or harder to hack?
Right.
Well, a lot of these old systems are not connected to the internet because they existed before the internet.
That's true. So no internet connection.
So there's an argument there too. But I think it's always better to stay ahead of the game as far as replacement goes. One of the problems with digital data is, especially when you're talking about 8-inch floppies, the equipment that reads that digital data breaks, and nobody's manufacturing new ones. So at some point, you run into a wall, and you do need to update it and refresh it and get it on new hard drives, new USB sticks, new solid-state disks. This is something that you have to do because the old equipment is not being manufactured anymore.
How'd you like to sponsor that bill?
Yeah,
this is the bill with the fiscal note of $1 billion to update
for new
systems.
computers for the nuclear program.
Thank you for coming down, Pete.